This is a ring shank side cutter, like the other side cutter and or bezel dies that I make, or you're basically cutting a strip or a chunk off of a strip of metal that goes up here instead of cutting out a whole piece. This one's already loaded with a tiny little sliver of a ring shank, and you can do that with these dies and my dies because they're very tight fitting, as you should know by now, most of you anyway. I'll go ahead and pop that one. The basic ring shank you can make with this is just a simple. This particular design is the split shank, and you can also make you can vary the width, the thickness of these pieces. You can make fat ones, thin ones, and you can adjust the size of the ring shank by the width of the strip that you put in there, width of the chunk that you put in there. And it would be a good idea to mark your die here however you want to, for whatever increments you want to make. Now, most of these I just use my hands and eyeball it, but it's going to help some of you out a lot, especially if you need to make a lot of ring shanks, is to mark them wherever you want them. Just clamp it closed and scribe it with a good hard scribe. And but also you're going to want to use, a lot of you are going to want to use these loading blocks, and this is just like all the other loading blocks I make. The two bottom screws hold the base of the die down, and these two screws up here hold the middle part of the die up. So you push down on there, open it up, and you can locate it much more easily and precisely. Now, with these dies, you're also going to want to work from the inside in some situations, from the reverse side. So in that case, now the other thing that you might want to be careful of is there is a front and a back to the piece, depending on which way you load the metal in. The front is a little bit rounded on the cut, the back side is sharp, so you might want to pay attention to that when you're assembling these ring shanks. Anyway, be careful of that. If you load it one way, or if you flip it over and load it the other way, one side is the front, one side is the back. You want to match them up. Now, for working on the inside, you have this other kind of loader, which is the same loader I have, and there's a little video about it for the combo dies. All it is a simple U-bolt, square or round, it doesn't matter. You chop off the end of it here and just drill a hole through your table and screw it in. Now, again, this middle area holds the design part open while you push the rest of the die, like that. So you can get that in there, and you might want to use a little tool, whatever's lying around, to help you line up the small ones. Now, you'll want to be careful to keep it centered this way so you get your symmetry, so your ends are even. And let's see, yeah, also I made this fat one here. So you can make a solid body if you want, like that. And then to get the split effect, there's also, I just call it a splitter die. It's this little one for the ends. And you can adjust it according to how fat you want your split to be. You can have it sort of match this, or you can go in there further and make it nice and thin. Again, you might want to use your loader to get it more precise. Whatever. Now they're springy enough to hold the metal in there while you're loading it, but you still want to be careful not to jiggle it around. I don't want them too tight so that they're hard to use, so they're hard to open, but tight enough to hold the metal in there. That's pretty much it. Pretty much. There's a lot you can do with just one of these. The size is, well, with the split ones, you have some leeway as far as the ring shank size, depending on how much of this split part you want to preserve. And there you have a solid body split shank. Shows up better there. Now the strip, the two-piece ones, pieces come out a little not quite perfectly flat. So if you're starting them together, you want to pound them out a little bit, make sure they're really flat so you get a good clean joint there. And probably maybe file and sand the sides a little bit just to get a good clean finish. So there you have it.